Good evening. Happy holidays to each of you. I am Bob Howard, Executive Director of Artichoke Community Music. We are honored to present to you our annual holiday show, Return the Light. Until this year, our show was live. This year, our show is virtual. Thank you all for joining us. Please join me in welcoming our host, Tom May.
We have an extremely diverse lineup of instruments, songs, dance, poetry, and musicians as we celebrate the return of the light at this winter solstice time. Pour a glass of wine, eggnog, or whatever your heart desires, and join us virtually here at Artichoke for a moving celebration of heart and the holidays. We begin with Beth Wood. Beth is one of our favorites, a force of nature on stage and an absolute delight. Beth graces us with her striking original music frequently, and also in recent years has taken time from her hectic touring schedule to publish books of her poetry and prose. Relentlessly creative, Beth has inspired and uplifted so many of us through these challenging times. Beth Wood is the epitome of all that is important and worthwhile about acoustic folk music. Beth Wood.
Hi, everyone. I'm Beth Wood, and I am so excited to be here with you from beautiful Sisters, Oregon at the First Street Park stage. I've been missing my Artichoke friends, and I just want to say happy holidays to all of you, and I'm so delighted to be a part of this Artichoke holiday special. So I want to start with a Christmas Eve song. It's Christmas Eve, and the moon hangs like a pearl, shining on this sleepy little town. These mountains beam, they're dressed up for all the world. Three queens wearing their winter white gowns. And I don't know much, but I know we love our stories. It comes with the territory of being alive. And love is love is love is love is love. Oh, love is love is love is love is love. And let love be tonight. Hear the bells ring, there is music in the air. Trees dressed up in tangled strands of light, all red and green, silver tinsel everywhere. Sleepy children trying to stay awake all night. And I don't know much, you'd have to be frozen in the middle not to feel it just a little, with all these cheerful sights and sounds. And love is love is love is love is love. Oh, love is love is love is love is love. And there's enough to go. That silent night, travelers looking for a bed, a place to lay their weary bodies down. By candlelight, they were sheltered, they were blessed. Animals sitting all around. And I know tonight, there's one cold and weary traveler, or one scared and hungry mother, then this story isn't over quite yet. Because love is love is love is love is love. Oh, love is love is love is love is love. And let us not forget. Okay, I'm going to share a poem now, and it has a really long title. So I'm just going to read the title and then go directly into the poem. So here goes. To the lady at the rec center practicing her moonwalk in the mirror of the group exercise studio right before my class began. Thank you. I know Christmas is coming on. So much to do, ready for, fuss over. Red and green ribbons everywhere, even at the gym. I imagine you're getting ready for a house full. It really does light up when they're all in it. I'd like to think you're practicing to show your grandkids. I like to imagine them squealing with unbridled delight. No, 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 Gamma, this is how you do it. I love how there's hope in it, even if it is the outdated kind. Even if you never show them, or if you're tired of Christmas, or if they don't exist at all, I still say, thank you. Just now, watching you, I floated to the top of that silly tree, high-fived the angel, felt weightless, small, and free for a tiny little while. It was better than anything with a ribbon on it. Keep doing you. Be. All right, well, I want to leave you with this hopeful song, and we're heading out of the darkest part of winter, and it has been a long, difficult time, and I look forward to the time when we can all be together again. But until then, let's just hold on. If we can hold on, if we can hold on, the sun will shine again. If we can hold on, if we believe, someday we will be together. If we believe, go on wanting, make friends with your longing. A new day is dawning, and it won't be long. You don't have to carry all the weight, it's unnecessary. This is temporary. If we can just hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Give a little comfort, give a little comfort. Oh, but save some for yourself. Give a little comfort, take a little rest, take a little rest. Oh, lay down your weary head, take a little rest, and go on wanting, make friends with your longing. A new day is dawning, and it won't be long. You don't have to carry all the weight, it's unnecessary. And this is temporary. If we can just hold on. Hold on. Oh. If we can hold on, the sun will rise again. If we can hold on, if we believe, someday we will be together. If we believe, if we can hold on, if we can hold on, the sun will rise again. If we hold on.
Next, we have Mick Doyle. One of the original members of the Trail Band, Mick has performed with dozens of artists on his signature instrument, the hammer dulcimer, as well as on acoustic bass and accordion. An expressive, passionate singer and storyteller, too, Mick is an integral part of the Portland acoustic music scene. Nothing says Christmas like the mellifluous tones of the hammer dulcimer.
So the next thing I'm going to play is a little tune called El Roro, which means the infant, the baby. And this is a Mexican Christmas lullaby. And the words are basically just soothing the child, like most lullabies. But the first verse you'll hear elefante and mosquito. And what the singer says is, you, from the elephant to the mosquito, shh, don't wake the baby. That's my favorite line in the song. So El Rorro. Ala rurru, niño chiquito, duérmase ya, mi Jesucito. Ala rurru, niño chiquito, duérmase ya, mi Jesucito. Del elefante hasta el mosquito, guarden silencio, no le hagan ruido. Ala rurru, niño chiquito, duérmase ya, mi Jesucito. Ala rurru, niño chiquito, duérmase ya, mi Jesucito. Coros celestiales con su dulce acento canten la aventura de este nacimiento. Ala rurru, niño chiquito, duérmase ya, mi Jesucito. 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 Noche venturosa, noche de alegría, bendita la dulce divina María. Ala rurru, niño chiquito, duérmase ya, mi Jesucito. Ala rurru, niño chiquito, duérmase ya, mi Jesucito.
Next in our holiday program, we have John Lee. John is a singer-songwriter with multiple albums to his credit and longtime host of the Thursday night open mic and virtual village at Artichoke Music, which he has continued even through these difficult times. John can be counted on to sing of Oregon and its charms and to lighten our hearts when needed.
My hometown shuts down with 1 inch of snow, just 1 inch of snow, 1 inch of snow. My hometown shuts down with 1 inch of snow, just 1 inch of snow. The kids know the rule, there'll be no school with 1 inch of snow, 1 inch of snow. The kids know the rule, there'll be no school with 1 inch of snow. 'Cause the drivers round here don't know how to steer in 1 inch of snow, 1 inch of snow. The drivers round here don't know how to steer in 1 inch of snow. They slip and they slide, their slick tires won't go in 1 inch of snow, 1 inch of snow. They slip and they slide, their slick tires won't go in 1 inch of snow. They slam on their brakes, ooh, that's a mistake. with 1 inch of snow, 1 inch of snow. They slam on their brakes, ooh, that's a mistake, with 1 inch of snow. They put on their chains, and then it rains, melting 1 inch of snow, 1 inch of snow. They put on their chains, and then it rains, melting 1 inch of snow. You see, my hometown shuts down with 1 inch of snow, just 1 inch of snow, 1 inch of snow. My hometown shuts down with 1 inch of snow, just 1 inch of snow.
I'm so happy to introduce Chasing Ebenezer. Ben and Heidi Sadler have just released a new EP and have continued to do a weekly online broadcast that touches on creativity, performing, and other aspects of living an authentic life. So dynamic, their songs and their presentation revolve around our mutual responsibility to one another and the healing power of song. Music is more than just a performing art to Ben and Heidi, it's a lifestyle.
Did you live in a dirt shack? We're sleeping on the floor. They led you to a carpenter. It worked time to provide. When the angel came and brought the news, did it catch you by surprise?
God is bigger than we think. God does unexpected things. So lift up your eyes, oh favored one. Your King has come. Mary, Mary, what will people say? Some will worship you as God above, or treat you as a castaway. Mary, Mary, your womb is truly blessed, for the one that grows inside of you, from the heart beating in your chest. God is bigger than we think. God does unexpected things. So lift up your eyes, oh favored one. Your King has come. God is bigger than we think. God does unexpected things. So lift up your eyes, oh favored one. Your King has come.
Mother of my God, it changed the course of history. It cannot be denied. Oh, see the kingdom coming, see it coming meek and mild. Poverty meets royalty when the virgin bears a child.
God is bigger than we think. God does unexpected things. So lift up your eyes, oh favored one. Your King has come. Your King has come. Your King has come. Your King has come. We're chasing Ebenezer, and we're really glad that we get to be at Artichoke and we get to play on this beautiful stage. This next song is doesn't really sound like a Christmas song, but it is. It's one of those Christmas stories that most people don't know about. It's about a guy named Zechariah who encountered an angel in the temple, and he was so shocked that he didn't believe him. He didn't believe that the angel told him he was going to have a baby, which was going to be John the Baptist. And because he had been so used to disappointment, he didn't believe the angel. And I think that this song bears a lot of meaning in 2020 this year, where we've lost hope, and it's easy to not get our hopes up for things to get better. But our hope is that this song will encourage you to not give up. It's called 400 Years. This day 400 years, choked down hope and dried my tears. Silence ain't the hardest thing, it's the sound of this temple settling. With every creak, no fire falls, no word is spoke, nothing at all. Tough to keep an open heart when you're throwing prayers into the dark. Tough to keep an open heart when you're throwing prayers into the dark. Cynicism feels so safe, blends life's wild colors into gray. But in black and white it's hard to see the burning bush in front of me. No room for grief, no room for joy. How can it be? I'll have a boy. Tough to keep an open heart when you're throwing prayers into the dark. Tough to keep an open heart when you're throwing prayers into the dark. Scales fall like ashes from my eyes. My faith is stirred, my tongue is tied. Raging fire now burns inside. 300 days I gotta keep it quiet. Raging fire now burns inside. inside. 100 days I gotta keep it quiet.
Tonight, our program is for the benefit of Transition Projects and its tireless relief efforts for the homeless in the Portland metro region. All the artists and the production team have donated their time to this project. The COVID pandemic has affected all of us deeply, particularly communities of risk and communities of color. Our hearts are with each of you every day, particularly as we begin to welcome the light of the new year. Let's hear from Transition Projects and their work in the community.
I look back to 2014 and wonder, how did I survive? How did I climb out of that deep, dark hole that I was in after facing domestic violence and then facing not being able to house myself? When you're on the streets, there is no safety and security. Nobody teaches you how to be homeless. Who do you go to? How do you get help? I mean, once you're down, how do you get back up? Transition Projects, it was the thing that brought me back. Getting connected to Jean's Place shelter for women. Without that shelter, I would have given up on myself. I would not have been able to go on because I really needed the support of staff who were knowledgeable, dealing with people with my severe case of trauma and the inability to help myself. Without Transition Projects, I would not be here. My photography is just using my experience as a voice for others. I took the photo of the person sitting on the steps with their belongings in downtown Portland about a year after I transitioned out of the shelter. And it was one of those moments where I'm like, that could have been me. People that looked like they were dying on our streets in America. I never thought a door would open for me and the light would shine on me. And not only could I help myself, but then I could turn around and help other people. I really thank Transition Projects for giving me some of those cinder blocks to build my foundation so that right now I can be a rock for other people as they struggle.
Welcome to Artichoke, Roma. It's so glad to have you here with us as we prepare for the holiday season and Artichoke's holiday program, of which you know is benefiting Transition Projects, as we have done for the last 3 years.
Glad to be here.
Well, and as I love your trail on your emails, from homelessness to housing. Tell us how that works at Transition Projects.
Well, that tagline is so meaningful to us because we work with people experiencing homelessness and we work with them on their journey. So from the streets to housing and everything in between. So we have an outreach team, an outstanding outreach team, mobile engagement. They're out on the streets, they're in camps working with people, helping support them with needs that they may have and working on getting them into either shelter or getting them directly into housing. So we start right at the ground floor with our outreach team. The other part of support that we offer is through our resource center, which offers anything from hygiene, showers, laundry, to a mail room, So if you're experiencing homelessness and you don't have an address, you can use us. And so our resource center is a great way to get the resources that you need, and also our shelters. So we are the largest provider of shelters in the state, and we have 9 shelters with a 10th opening in the month of December. And prior to COVID, we had about 800 people living under our roofs every night. That is cut in half right now to allow for physical distancing so that people can be safe. But every night we're working with people experiencing homelessness through our shelter programs. And then the final part of that journey is going into housing.
And how can our community help your community?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask. I think that one of the concerns is that people feel like the issues around housing and homelessness is really too big to undertake in any tangible way. But really, the way we look at it is, it's one person at a time, it's cumulative. And if you want to donate a package of underwear, we always need underwear, we'll take it. If you have warm winter clothes, if you have warm winter coats or sweatpants or boots, what we suggest is going onto our website, which is tprojects.org, and looking at our wish list for things that we really need. And especially as it gets cold, as I like to say, we live in Oregon, cold, wet, and rainy, and helping us. But it isn't just stuff. You can certainly just make a donation if you want, if that's the easiest thing for you, and your funds go immediately to our programs and services. Or you can make a meal. We have shelters. They're small. There are a smaller number of people in the shelter, so it's a little easier now. But you can make a meal yourself. You can join our potluck volunteer meal program, where you might be able to do a salad for 20 and someone else could do the other half, and someone does an entree and someone else does dessert, and you all just drop and go. So there's fun, simple things where your family could be making masks or a meal, or doing a neighborhood underwear drive, which is something that I'm going to be doing. So there's things like that where you can make it enjoyable. Get out and call, email friends, family, colleagues, or go online and see we have an Amazon wish list, and again, like I said, you can just make a donation. You can go to the Willamette Week Give Guide and get some really cool swag for your donation. There's just a lot that we can all do, even if it's just a tiny little bit at a time. It all adds up to good things.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
Roma, thank you so much. We're excited about this project. We're excited that we are partners, and let's make this a really big show.
Great. Thank you, Bob. That's so exciting. And we love Artichoke music, and we look forward to partnering with you more.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Take care, Roma. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Next in our holiday program is Ron McFarlane. Grammy-nominated instrumentalist Ron McFarlane strives to bring the lute, the most popular instrument of the Renaissance, into today's musical mainstream. Ron has toured 49 of the 50 United States, Canada, and much of Europe, with ensembles such as the Bach Sinfonia, the Portland Baroque Orchestra, the Baltimore Consort, and as a soloist. Ron McFarlane.
Hi everyone, I'm Ron McFarlane, and I'll be playing the lute for you. I'd like to thank Artichoke Music for hosting this event, and give a big thanks, actually a huge thanks, to Transition Projects for helping folks get back on their feet when they most need it for more than 50 years now.
Next in our holiday program is a real treat, Lillian and Juniper Dunham and Sky in the Road. The evocative music of Dan Rieger and Rachmana Wiest is augmented here by their daughter Lillian and granddaughter Juniper. This truly is an intergenerational presentation with everyone taking a part. The very essence of holidays and family, Lillian and Juniper Dunham and Sky in the Road.
We're playing Twinkle Twinkle.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. When the blazing sun is gone, when nothing shines upon, then you show your little light. Twinkle, twinkle all the night. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Give Yourself to Love by Kate Wolf.
Kind friends all gathered round, something I would say. What brings us together here has blessed us all today. Love has made a circle that holds us all inside, where strangers are as family and loneliness can't hide.
mountains in the rain. I've learned to love the wind. I've been up before the sunrise, watch the day begin. Always knew I'd find you, though I never did know how. Like sunshine on a cloudy day, you stand before me now. So give yourself to love. Love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Love is born in fire. It's planted like a seed. Love can't give you everything, but it gives you what you need. Love comes when you're ready. Love comes when you're afraid. It'll be your greatest teacher, the best friend you have made. So give yourself to love. If love is what you're after, open up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. If love is what you're after, open up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love.
Happy holidays!
Yeah, happy holidays!
Thank you.
Alexa McDonald, welcome back to Artichoke Community Music.
Thank you, Bob. It's lovely to be back.
It's amazing. You know, I was thinking about this because, ladies and gentlemen, this is the artistic director, I like to say emeritus, of Artichoke Music, because she did retire at the end of the year, and we were in a transition process. But you are the last of 50 years of curation at Artichoke Music, starting with Judith Tucker, then Bill Bulick and Carol McIntosh. Bill Bulick had his World Music Festivals in the late 70s, which were fabulous. And then, of course, Kate Power and Steve Einhorn, Richard Colombo, Alexa Wiley, and to you, welcome.
Well, thank you. You know, that's one of the things that makes Artichoke really special, is it has had many incarnations. It has never disappeared. It has faced existential threats, and a number of times looked like maybe it was going to make it, maybe it wouldn't, but it always seems to morph a little bit and change, and the people rise up out of the community to make things happen, and we're still here.
We are. I mean, I must admit, Alexa, I've spent hours in a fetal position.
I bet you have.
It's crazy. You know. But
we are still here.
And what I am thrilled, because this holiday show, Alexa, was your baby, and you formed the partnership with Transition Projects.
We were just carrying on the tradition. And when this room that we're in here, where I am right now, it's quiet and not very many people are in here. But this room has seen night after night after night of fabulous music and beautiful lighting and audiences that walk out with a full heart and a smile or even a tear in their eye because of what they have heard and experienced in this room. This is a really special room.
Well, Alexa McDonald gets a lot of the credit for that because the feel of that room and the artistic presentation of that room had a lot to do with your vision as well in creating that room. Thank you so much.
I am so looking forward to the day when we can all gather in this room again and play music together.
The earth has turned, solstice has passed, and one by one the days are getting longer. Deep in the root awakens the sap, and day by day I'm getting turning to the light. Oh, we're turning to the light. Oh, we're turning to the light. The cold wind still howls. We still gather round the fire, but every day we watch that sun climbing higher. We're turning to the light. We'll take a little bit of time today. We'll take a little bit of time to pray. We won't forget to take the time to say, I love you. I love you. We'll be the people we all long to be, full of vigor and integrity. Whatever came before, we'll let it be. We'll let it be. Let it be. We're turning to the light. Oh, we're turning to the light. Oh, we're turning to the light. The cold wind still howls. We still gather round the fire. Every day we watch that sun climb difficult winter. Now the sun is on its way, getting closer every day. We're turning to light, returning to light.
Next in our holiday cavalcade, we have Robert Owen and John Richter. Robert Owen is a longtime member of the Artichoke community. He's played his compositions at our open mic. Robert serves on the board of directors of Artichoke Music as well as on the board of Soldier Songs and Voices. John Richter is another longtime member of the Artichoke community and a member of our house band, Sophie and the Bad Boys. He leads the Song Circle once a month at Artichoke and is also a singer-songwriter. Robert Owen with John Richter.
All right, well, it's nice to be back here on the Artichoke stage once again with my dear friend, John Richter.
And my dear friend, Robert Owen.
And the first song is an original of mine called Virginia. And I've got several songs that are based on inspirations from books that I've read. And this was based on a passage from the book The Virginian by Owen Wister. And it tells of one of the main characters is a young woman who went to Wyoming to become a teacher and for a little adventure. And then she went back east to, I think it was Massachusetts, if I remember right, to visit her aunt. And they got to reminiscing about transitions, I guess, and love and relationships and youth. And that passage brought this song out. I am an old woman, but I haven't forgotten how to love another with the spirit of youth in my touch. A sudden sensation there right beside you, to reach out and hold to and not be alarmed by the touch. Sometimes you're still, sometimes in bloom, and some rhymes can take you too far and too soon. I was never around, never never thought of as true. And some rhymes can take you too far and too soon, too far and too soon. Thank you. We're going to do another original called I Own. And I was thinking the other day that Facebook is kind of a double-edged sword for me. You can get on there and get in trouble really fast, or it can be a real sense of positive reinforcement to your day. And it's always interesting to me how, I have so many friends on Facebook, and a lot of them I've never even met face to face. And so that's kind of unusual. There's one fellow that I met briefly at Artichoke when we were over on Hawthorne a few years ago, Mark Mayflit, I think his name. Malafite, Mark Malafite. Anyway, Mark is a Facebook friend of mine, and lately he's been spending time down in Guanajuato, Mexico, and then he comes back and stays at his home in Mosier. I've never been to Mosier, but I have been to Guanajuato.
I think he lives in Maupin.
Maupin.
Unless he moved.
Okay. Could be, yeah. At any rate, so every time he posts pictures of Guanajuato, I'm envious. It's one of my favorite cities that I visited. So a group of us violin student parents took a trip about 8 years ago to Guanajuato. We took 25 violins down to help them start their first Suzuki violin school. Spent about 10 days there and helped them make a transition for their community, I guess. So anyway, I'll send this out to Mark. Won't have no company. All I'll see is me when I go back to I Own. Won't have to say a lot. No Johnny on the spot when I go back to I Own. I can listen to that whistle blow, echo up the canyon as she's pulling slow. I have my old guitar, whiskey in a mason jar when I go back to I Own. I can listen to that whistle blow, echo up the canyon as she's pulling slow. I have my old guitar, whiskey in a mason jar. When I go back to Ione, when I go back to Ione. Thank you.
Before we return to our program, I ask you to observe a moment of silence for all those on the front lines and for those who are no longer with us this holiday, lost to the pandemic.
It is my great privilege at our holiday event here at Artichoke Music to introduce Kim Stafford. Named Poet Laureate in Oregon in 2018, Kim Stafford is a teacher, an author, a songwriter, and an inspirational figure to all that have heard him. As Kim himself puts it, he teaches and travels to raise the human spirit. He founded the Northwest Writing Institute and co-founded the Fish Trap Writers Gathering. A veteran of hundreds of seminars, concerts, and workshops, we are so honored to have him join us and share his words. Kim Stafford.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. I want to read just a few poems that I've written out of the spirit of something that I learned while I was Poet Laureate, and that is writing a poem for someone, not about a subject, but for a person or for a community. So these are kind of advocacy poems. And this first one is called Pandemic Coffee Restoration Ritual. And, this is a little ditty I wrote one morning and I sent it to a few friends. Next thing I knew, a nurse at Good Samaritan Hospital said, "Hey, your poem has been posted in all the elevators at Good Samaritan."
Oh my gosh.
So, what's better than that? So, Pandemic Coffee Restoration Ritual. A heaping dose of darkness, a narrow pour of light, a ringing spoon of silver, transforming wrong to right. Deep inside the darkness, let a glimmer be revealed, a slender path ahead to where we will be healed. Dark and light together, loving how they swirled. Now you've had your coffee, go repair the world.
I can clap.
That was just fun to write. And that's my new ambition to, compose things that people will post spontaneously. Okay, this next one, I heard from a friend of mine that he has a friend in prison. And his friend in prison reported that he'd called his mom and said, "Mom, I'm worried about you. Lockdown, I'm used to it. But for you, you're going to get cabin fever. I'm worried about you." And I was so touched by this idea of an inmate worrying about someone on the outside. So I wrote kind of in his voice this poem called Inmate Calls Home. "Mom, I've been all night worried. This virus thing, they say it gets everywhere. So don't you go out, okay? Get food, sit tight, read, just read. You like that. Make calls. Not like visits, I know. You love those friends. Nights, I hear you tell them things in my mind. But Mom, I've been worried. Cabin fever. Yeah, here on the inside, we're used to that. Lots of practice. Time crawls like a broken dancer. You watch it. But Mom, what you gonna do with all that time? No visits, no go where you like, no bench in the park. Nights. Mom, no worry, no you worry, okay? Me, I'm good. I'm so good." So my friend sent the poem to his friend, and I got a message back, "You know how I feel."
Hmm.
And I think that's what a song does. That's what a place like Artichoke does. Transition projects, someone else knows how I feel. That's a big thing.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm an old guy, and so I go to the doctor. And when you're a writer, the most ordinary little phrase can kind of take you back. And so the doctor says, "How do you feel?" Well, that's kind of a heavy question, doctor. And I think because of the way the mind wavers, I thought, how do you feel? What is your capacity for feeling? How do you do it? So this is called Poetry Doctor. How do you feel? How exactly have you learned to feel, to be touched, to apprehend? These twinges you have of compassion, empathy, pain, how long have you had them? Have they grown more intense with age? Do they manifest at sunset, at dawn, in the presence of beauty, of suffering? Does your heart ever skip? Do you ever feel dizzy with delight or shame? Has the grace of a few right words ever blurred your vision, caught your breath? Has your heart ever become a drum when a song's words told you who you are in secret? I'm afraid my diagnosis must remain incomplete without further tests. Neruda, Dickinson, Basho. I want to be prescribed poems.
Well, it's the conversation in that poem was wonderful. I mean, it's just like I was sitting in the doctor's office, and then you add Neruda.
Hey, I should send this to my doctor. He can post it in the waiting room.
Exactly. I mean, it's amazing because it was so conversational, but it was so
Yeah.
it was so whimsical.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what else are you going to do when you're getting old? You
I
gotta.
know exactly. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah. Okay. This is probably the most pertinent poem to
okay.
supporting transition projects. I actually wrote this poem for PAIR, the homeless
Okay.
youth advocacy group. And I was down there talking to some of the young kids who were living on the streets. And I just had such a fascinating conversation with this one kid. He was probably about 16. And I asked him, "So what's ahead in your life?" And I want to go to college. Great. What do you want to study? Circus. I love that. Circus. So this is called My Sheltering Sky. When I was born, when I was helpless, there were stars above me, blue in their midnight galaxy. When I was hurt, there were scars no one could see. When I was growing, the sun was dimmed for me by killing silence where there should have been a song. Did you hear a song when you were young, a chorus that sang your name with love? How many little ways were you reminded of your worth, your chance, your path to rise above your struggles, a way to feel that you belong? One night by the river when I couldn't sleep for streetlights glittering the water dark, I looked above my troubles where I saw a spark, another world, a guide, a star to mark my destination far beyond my pain. On that shore, I felt there was a fatal door I could step through into waters cold to quench my life before I grew too old in sorrows, hard tomorrows. I could fold my arms and plunge into the deep. But then I looked above it all and saw my shelter, my sky. The stars were calling, and I felt that I was falling up instead of down. And I wore some kind of crown that gave me my ticket to the dawn. Now I find there's work and worth and wonder. Though I know my sorrows won't be gone, someone help me carry on and find a wealth in heart and mind that helps me know I finally belong. For I looked above it all and saw my shelter, my sky. My stars were calling, and I felt that I was falling up instead of down. And I wore some kind of crown that gave me my ticket to the dawn. So I have one more poem, just a
Please.
little one.
Yes, please, please.
And it's called Advice from a Raindrop. I seem to have a special affection for little things. And so the raindrop. You think you're too small to make a difference? Tell me about it. You think you're helpless at the mercy of forces beyond your control? I've been there. Think you're doomed to disappear, just one small voice among millions? That's no weakness. Trust me. That's your wild card, your trick, your implement. They won't see you coming until you're there in their faces, shining, festive, expendable, eternal. Sure, you're small, just one part of a storm that changes everything. That's how you win, my friend. Again and again and again. Thank you,
Well,
Bob.
there's
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Kim. It's
Let's
such
have
a pleasure.
a big old party at Artichoke when we can. Okay.
Count on it. Count on it. Count on it. We'll
Okay.
do it. See you
Okay.
soon.
Be well. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, I have Danny Wilson and Tracy Schlapp with me today of the Folsom 50 Project, dear friends of mine. And I'd like to just start with Danny. Tell me about how the Folsom 50 Project started.
Oh, I'll kind of give you the short version. I was playing some music at the Lake Oswego School of Rock, actually, and we were playing a whole bunch of #1 hits, and I had picked Folsom Prison Blues as the song that I wanted to play and sing. And I really got into the record, just listening to it, and I realized that this is one piece of work, and I wanted to go, and I said, I was hanging out with Tracy one day, and I said to her, I want to take my band and play this record start to finish in a bar or something like that, just because I saw it as not a song, but like the whole piece is one thing. And her immediate answer was, well, that would be really neat, but way better if you did it in prison. And so then we kind of laughed and said, how would we ever do that? And it just kind of chuckled it away, and
then we made a few phone calls.
Then we got thinking about it, and then we just made a couple of phone calls. One down to Salem, and then ended up getting a woman by the name of Elizabeth LeCarney, who was at the time at Columbia River Correctional Institution in Portland, and told her our kooky idea, and she had us come in for a meeting.
We met last year. Tell me about why you reached out to Artichoke.
Well, we did the initial concert, of course, and toured most of the Oregon prisons doing that. But as Tracy said, what else could we do? We enjoy it going in, and the people appreciate it. And so we were looking for other things to do. And while we were at, actually a number of the prisons, but the women's prison, they feel a little left out of some of the programs that some of the other places get. Mm-hmm. And so we thought we'd try and help them where we could too. They have a ukulele club, and they have a bunch of little broken plastic ukuleles. And so I said, well, we might be able to get some donated. And who can we do that from? And so
ukuleles are us, is what we like to say.
Not knowing who to call, we called up Artichoke Music.
Well, that was a wonderful trip. We did get our sponsor. One of our sponsors for this holiday show is Kala Ukuleles. They've donated another ukulele for a raffle that we will be doing during this holiday season. But they donated 15 ukuleles to this project. And what a trip we had to Coffee Creek.
And we coordinated that delivery of the ukuleles with a Christmas carol sing-along. So Bob and I had our guitars, and we had lyric sheets for everybody.
What has been the impact of your programs?
Well, it's always difficult to measure the quantitative measurements, but we got an email about, how long ago?
2 or 3 weeks.
2-3 weeks ago, and it was from a young woman that we'd met, and she wrote us and said, I was an inmate at Coffee Creek Correctional Facility. I'm also a musician. I played one of the songs I wrote at a 2019 summer festival we had where you guys headlined. I just want to mention how much sharing your musical talents inspired me. I went on to record an 8-song EP while incarcerated and was the first woman in Oregon history to do so. I do attribute part of that to you. I know you recognize how much performing in prisons does for each population, but for me individually, you did more than I think you realize, and I wanted you to know that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank you,
much for your
Bob.
work. It is a pleasure to be working with you.
Likewise. Thanks for all your help.
Yeah.
Really.
You bet. Thank you.
Hey there, train, where you going? Hear the wheels rolling, hear that rumble low. Can you take me with you? Take me far away, got no reason to stay. Only see her late at night when I'm fast asleep, never in the light, only when I dream. But lately I can't sleep, I walk the streets instead, the stars and moon above, the darkened road ahead. And I wonder if she'll ever be back again. These lonely nights that never seem to end. I'm holding out hope that one day she'll want me again. So I'm jumping onto your back, we'll ride just you and me. Take me to the desert, to the rattlesnakes and heat, where I can walk all night. With the moon above, does she see it too? My love, only see her late at night when I'm fast asleep, never in the light, only when I dream. Lately I can't sleep, I walk the streets instead, the stars and moon above, a darkened road ahead. Only see her late at night when I'm fast asleep, never in the light, only when I dream. Lately I can't sleep, I walk the streets instead, the stars and moon above, a darkened road ahead.
Believe it or not, the first time I ever played that song live was at an open mic at Artichoke Music. And that song is off a record that Luther's Boots put out this year called Darkened Road Ahead. And most of the record was written while we were touring in the Oregon prisons, playing music to the adults in custody with our project, the Folsom 50 Project. And you can find the record on all the usual places. This next song is also on that record. It's we had a lot of inspiration from Johnny Cash when we were doing all that music in prison, and this one actually is a story right out of his autobiography. It's called Jesse James.
I had a couple of pills before I started out, gassed up the tank and I headed south. Just me and my buddy, Jesse James. Well, I'd sing at night, sleep all day, took them pills just to stay awake and to keep my show out on the road. So many things I didn't know, got caught up and was feeling cold. Didn't think about nothing but myself. Well, that selfishness may lead to hell. I tried to lie but didn't do it well. When I told them who started that blaze, it was Jesse James. It was Jesse James. My outlaw partner in crime, Jesse James. He had a bum wheel that started all the flames. I'm telling you, man, it was Jesse James. Well, I heard some noises on the back right side. I was thinking about myself, so I just let it slide. Then I finally stopped to check him out. There was oil that was dripping down, heated by the wheel and fall to the ground. That's all it took to make it go. Well, that fire burned out of control, so I hatched a plan. I got my fishing pole and I went down to the creek for my alibi. And I started telling this pretty thin lie. I was just watching the fish in the sky, and I didn't know there was a fire until you came. No, it wasn't me. It was Jesse James. I'm telling you, boss man, it was Jesse James. But I don't think that he was buying my claim. When I told him it wasn't me, it was Jesse James. Well, that fire burned, smoke filled the air, and they questioned me, but just left me there. Had to sleep out under the stars that night. And early next day in the morning light, a truck came and offered me a ride, but it was with the bee, so I just had him move on. Well, I kept on walking, I was feeling wrong, was thinking about myself, not what I had done. Couldn't see the one endangered was me. I was all arrogance and amphetamines, them yellow buzzers didn't matter to me. Kept blaming that fire on Jesse James. It was Jesse James, but I had to pay 125K, about $1 million today. But I don't think that it's gonna make me change my ways. I'll just go out and find a new Jesse James. I'll just go out and buy a new Jesse James.
Next in our Artichoke Holiday Christmas celebration, Tom Swearingen. Tom Swearingen tells stories of the people and land of the American West through original cowboy poetry that is often inspired by his own observations from the saddle. Tom is a two-time winner of the National Finals Rodeo Cowboy Poetry Week contest. So let's now have a little cowboy Christmas with Tom Swearingen.
So here we are in winter, a wonderful, wonderful time. And as far as seasons go, it is definitely one of them, and a time that we really ought to celebrate. It can be a time of pretty interesting challenges, especially for those who make their living outdoors. Cattle, strong from here to Sunday, nose to tail all afternoon, snaking their way to low ground down the trail one up last June. Temperature's just 12 degrees. With the wind chill, it feels worse, but I count it all a blessing, what most folks would call a curse. To be all day on the gather, bringing high-grazed cattle down, to still be part of something not much understood in town. To ride from can't see to can't see. No need for watch or clock to know I'm spending time well working hard to raise this stock. Riding ground my father rode, and his father rode before. There's not a lot of people these days can say that anymore. Of course, days like this will test you some, winter gnawing at your core, reminding you there are reasons others don't take on the chore. A feeling has long left my hands, about gone from my seat. Warmth a dwindling memory, still some hours till home fire's heat. Today it's snow and bitter wind, other times it's sun and dust. But regardless of conditions, being here for me is a must. Because I'm right where I figure is the only place for me. Because cowboy's what I am. Cowboy's what I'll always be. Thank you. So winter is also a time, and the holiday time is a time when we often check in with people that maybe we haven't checked in with all year long. So it's a good reminder to do that, and a good reminder of the importance of friendship. Just to paint a picture of a visit. He knew his knock would one day not be answered. The day would come there'd be no stir within, no creak of step on aged wooden floorboards, no lifting of the latch, no come on in. No giving ear again to his grand stories of Badwin's Road and following the creed, his memories of a life well lived and cherished, no wish I had, regret, or unmet need. No sitting by the flicker light of candles, him hearing of old times, new hopes, new fears, a future that's now lonelier and harder with each new sunrise morning that appears. Each winter about this time he paid a visit to sit, listen, looking on his friend. The last few years both knowing but not saying. Each visit brought them closer to the end. This year he knows there'll be no answer. He knew it when he came around the bend. No chimney smoke, no window light, no footprints. There would be no more visits with his friend. The stillness of the cabin's what first struck him. And then the note left form on the wall. Said, I'm so glad you've come again to see me. So sorry that I've missed your final call. But knowing one day soon I will not waken, I leave this note to greet you if I've passed. I'm thankful for your friendship, always have been. I knew you'd be here for me till the last. The Visit. Thank you. And of course, this time of year is a time of traditions. And of course, the Christmas tree is one of those for a lot of people. We were coming up on Christmas. In fact, it was Christmas Eve, which had me out with Scotty D and a brand new hand named Steve. We'd all recalled our younger days when home this time of year with Mom and Dad and family, how a Christmas tree brought cheer. But despite our recollections, we'd not thought to bring one in, and so now, better late than never, our searching would begin. We were looking for a nice one to haul to the waiting crew. We were looking for perfection, not just any tree would do. So we passed on Midland prospects and continued on our quest. Oh, we'd searched till we were sure we'd dang sure found the best. And that plan was working fine till daylight turned to night, and that's when we decided the next one would be just right. And that's when good old Scotty D let out a hoop and yell, why, looky boys up on the ridge, it's a tree and gosh, she's swell. Well, sure enough, he'd spotted one, so we rode up to it quick. It was small and kind of scraggly, but it'd have to do the trick. So we hauled it to the bunkhouse to reveal the evening's find. If the boys were disappointed, they sure kept their comments kind. Come on, let's get this tree spruced up, Bob said, grinning at his pun. If we get to decorating, we can pronto get her done. Danner hung a silver buckle he'd won bucking at the fair, which got us all to pitching in our own bits of cowboy fare. Chester wired on some conchos, jingle bobs, and fine head stall, strung Rommel reins like popcorn strings with a Merry Christmas, y'all. Ned eased a few loose silken threads from the seams of his best vest. Then, pretending they shined like tinsel, he hung them where they looked best. We each and all participated, adding what we could, and then stood back and all agreed. Scotty's tree looked mighty good. Next year, I expect we'll search farther and get an earlier start. But I don't believe we'll ever find any tree that holds more heart. Merry Christmas.
Next in our Artichoke holiday presentation, Tom D'Antoni. The longtime host and producer of the Oregon Music News and Conversations at Artichoke is here with some highlights and thoughts. Tom has a lifetime of experience writing about and commenting about the Portland music scene on radio, television, and online. Tom D'Antoni.
Well, we always choose two coffee shop conversations for the end of the year. But I know that one for sure is Storm Large. Now, we did this. We didn't do it here. We had to do it on the phone because you were closed, and we couldn't get in here. But she was amazing, and as she always is. This was from April, so you remember what April was like. It had just sunk in what was happening, right? She had just come off the road by a month maybe, and she was trying to figure out what to do. And anyway, here's Storm Large.
Right now is not the time for despair. We can definitely take little heartbreaks.
Yes. Well,
take our little heartbreaks and cry, but again, you wipe your face and you pat yourself on the back going, atta girl, you still have feelings, you still care,
Yeah,
you're not
yeah,
invincible.
yeah. Well,
And that's good news because you're a human being. What is the thing you're looking forward to the most when you can do it?
Getting a hug.
Yes. I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Babe, I'm going to hug the shit out of you when I see you. And that's something I'm so looking forward to.
Yeah.
It's just like I can't wait to have awkwardly long hugs with people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna see the guys that empty the recycling cans on my street, and I'm gonna be like, dude, open it up, come here, come on, hug it out, come here. It's gonna be the best day ever.
That's funny.
Then I'll get arrested.
Funny. That's so funny. Well, there's nobody like Storm Large. We did the series of musicians who are also married to each other. I wanted to just put up a little piece of Lisa Mann and Alan Markell. And they're both bass players, which is also an interesting quirk. And we had them in here, and they were wonderful. And this is the tune that we went out with from that show from September of 2019.
1, 2, 3, I got a song I want to sing, and I'm gonna sing it just for you. If you ever had the blues, I want you to help me sing it too. Everybody hear what I say. The blues is back and it's here to stay. Oh, I used to have someone who meant the whole wide world to me. Oh, but he left me.
One of the things I do every year is I have a Christmas music show on my KMHD show. I like it like that. And I always play James Brown, Santa Claus Goes Straight to the Ghetto. So let me give you a little tease of that, all right?
Santa Claus goes straight to the ghetto. Fill every stocking you find. The kids are gonna love you so. Leave a toy for Johnny. Leave a doll for Mary.
I did want to give you a taste of a tune that I play every year on I Like It Like That on KMHD, and it's by Stanley Adams and the Chicken Flickers. And I got it because one of my best friends from Baltimore, his uncle died, Uncle Elkie, and he had this collection of really weird records, including this one, which was called Hanukkah Carols. So let's just give you a taste of matzo balls in the chicken soup.
Matzo balls in the chicken soup. Mama makes you eat them till your stomach starts to do. Matzo balls, have another cup. If matzo balls don't kill you, your number isn't up.
Okay, before we wrap things up, I also want to thank our publisher Anna Alman and our managing director Scott Cunningham for helping us through this period, because it's we went through some major trauma here at Oregon Music News, but we're bouncing back. Well, happy holidays, everybody! Thanks, Bob, for letting me in on this.
Thank you, Tom D'Antoni, for being a part of Artichoke.
All right.
Next up on our holiday presentation from Artichoke, Martin Zarzar. He is an award-winning songwriter born in Lima, Peru. His mother leads the very popular Inca Jam, which was a frequent contributor at Artichoke in the Hawthorne days and that we plan to have back on Powell Boulevard. He's known for his work with Pink Martini as well as many others. Martin Zarzar.
Happy holidays, everyone.
vanquish my foes, I'll conquer my fears. And if you should cry, I'll dry your tears. I'll try every day to be all I can. Oh, you'll make me a better man. If you will catch me when I fall, if you will catch me when I fall. Turn every stone, I'll right every wrong. I'll give you a reason to keep hanging on. Though I may fail 9 times out of 10, keep getting up so I can try again. If you will catch me when I fall, if you will catch me when I fall. Took a lot of glue to piece this life together. It was so torn apart. Now I found you and I think it could be better. It could be another start. If you will catch me when I fall, if you will catch me when I fall, if you will catch me when I fall, if you will catch me when I fall. winter day beneath the snow. You came to be as you started to grow. tiny seed contains it all. Everything great was once so small. After the spring, one afternoon, green tender leaves kiss the warm wind of June. Reach from the earth to greet the sun. Life sings its song in everyone. The summer went, and then the fall. New seats set sail to the winds of winter call. Scattered like stars in the night sky, to make new worlds, away they fly.
Next up in our Artichoke Holiday Extravaganza, Espacio Flamenco. One of the most exciting developments at Artichoke in recent times have been the gatherings and performances by Espacio Flamenco, featuring this intoxicating dance and music from the Iberian culture. They provide instruction, performance, and special events full of color and excitement. This is a holiday taste of a monthly Artichoke feature, Espacio Flamenco.
el primer rayo de la luz de la mañana. Despierto siempre preguntando dónde está. Con mi aliento empaño el cristal de mi ventana. Y veo a mi barquita echarse navega sola, ay navega sola, ay navega sola, mi barquilla velera sobre la mar. Ay, mientras que tú no me quieres brava, ay, yo tengo que andar penando. Mientras que tú no me quieres brava, ay, en el mantón de la noche te llama mi voz seré bebená. Ay, en el mantón de la noche y voz serena, que guapa arcabosa viene, que guapa arcabosa va, tu boca de caramelo, ay, véase desvariado. ¡Hala! Bonito. ¡Hala! Ay, Valeria, yo me encontré a una paloma, ahí en el suelo, Valeria, ay, al cogerla entre las manos y aumentó la pena mía, ay, al cogerla entre mis manos se aumentó la pena mía. A ti te pido, a ti te pido, a ti te pido, a ti te pido, solo tú sabes lo que sufrió. ¡Hala! ¡Vamos ahí! ¡Hala! ¡Ole! ¡Hala! A mí me ha dicho mi prima que en el barrio de Balón van a poner monumento encima que María Batón. Con el caray, 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 caray. Que mire usted qué gracia la hacemos en calle. Que ni la hambre la vamos a sentir. Que mire usted qué gracia tiene este país. Tiri-ti-ta-ta-ta, tara-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, tara-ta-ta-ta-trero, ay, tiri-ti-tra-tra-tra-tra, tara-ta-ta-ta-ta, pri-pi-po-po-po-po, tara-ta-ta-ta-trero, ay, tiri-ti-ra-ta-ta-ta. ¡Hala! Amor amante, amor amante, amor amante, amor amante, lirio azule. Amor amante, amor amante, amor amante, amor amante, lirio azule panamorante. Amor amante, amor amante, amor amante, amor amante, lirio azule.
Next up, the music of Pretty Gritty. Originally from Maryland, Sarah Wolf and Blaine Hennanen make evocative music that lands squarely in the Americana wheelhouse. Tight harmonies, spare imagery, and a seamless blending of their instruments combine to make their music irresistible to Northwest festivals and stages. Pretty Gritty.
What child is this who lay to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping, whom angels greet with anthems sweet, while shepherds watch are keeping? This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him love, the babe, the Son of Mary. Why lies he in such mean estate, where ox and ass are feeding? Good Christian, fear for sinners here, the silent word is pleading. Nail, spear shall pierce him through, the cross be born for me, for you. Hail, hail the Word made flesh, the babe, the Son of Mary. some peasant king to own him. The King of Kings salvation brings. Let loving hearts enthrone him. Raise a song on high. The Virgin sings her lullaby. Joy, joy, for Christ is born, the babe, the Son of Mary. Yes, we're going to do Silent Night next.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be silent on this ukulele. Try to anyway.
1, 2, 3, 4. Silent night. Holy night. All is calm. All is bright. Round yon fertile Jesus, Lord, at thy birth, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep. Oh come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel that mourns in lonely exile here, until the Son of God appear. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. O come, thou rod of Jesse, free thine own from Satan's tyranny. From depths of hell thy people save, and give them victory o'er the grave. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. O come, thou dayspring, come and cheer our spirits by thine advent here. Disperse the gloomy clouds of night, and death's dark shadow put to flight. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. O come, thou Key of David, come and open wide our heavenly home. Make safe the way that leads on high, and close the path to misery. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. O come, thou Lord of might, who to thy tribes on Sinai's height in ancient times didst give the law, in cloud and majesty and awe. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. shall come to thee, O Israel.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Time to wrap it up. I've got my good friend Doug Smith, Grammy Award winner and Winfield, Kansas fingerpicking champion. He'll play one of his Christmas guitar pieces live and join myself for a song by my old pal Gordon Lightfoot, the quintessential song for a winter's night. Also helped out by Michael Henchman on bass. Thanks for joining us for this very special holiday presentation. It's burning low upon my tabletop. The snow is softly falling. The air is still in the silence of my room. I hear your voice softly calling. If I could only have you near to breathe a sigh or two, I would be happy just to hold the hands I love upon this winter night with you. The smoke is rising in the shadows overhead. My glass is almost empty. I read again between the lines upon each page, the words of love you sent me. If I could know within my heart that you were lonely too, I would be happy just to hold the hands I loved upon this winter night with you. Fire is dying now, my lamp is growing dim. The shades of night are lifting. The
Morning light steals across my window pane, where webs of snow are drifting. If I could only have you near to breathe a sigh or two, I would be happy just to hold the hands I love and to be once again with you. Upon this winter night with you.